Hi, welcome to Projecting Overview Podcast brought to you by Tolumide. Hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Today, I have with me a guest you already know. He's no more a guest on this podcast.
What up?
Yeah, just introduce yourself briefly for those that haven't known you.
Yeah, I go by the name of Chinedu.
Okay. Today we'll be talking about another interesting topic, which is African government. We're going to be talking about African government, but we're going to be narrowing it down to the Nigerian government. I'm Nigerian, he's Nigerian, so it's always good to always go back. We'll literally touch the roots. So,
100%.
First thing is, what do you think has changed since you last remember being in Nigeria?
Well, I went back. Funny enough, I went back in 2019, December 2019. So prior to that, I haven't been back for 10 years.
Okay.
So I'll say, based on my recent visit, there's been a few changes. Well, where I'm from in the east, isn't it? That's where I went.
Yeah.
There's been a few changes, like buildings, the infrastructure, the building, the access to the buildings.
Okay.
Businesses. It's now more commercial. So in certain areas, more commercial now. It's more busier. Things are happening.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've seen that's changed in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. For me personally, I think because I haven't been in Nigeria in the
For 10
last
minutes.
12 years.
This guy don't want to go home.
So here is the thing. We can't start to talk about the things that have changed if we don't talk about the things that's always been
the same.
Yeah, that's always
100%.
been the problem.
100%.
I mean, I could remember for as long as I can that we've always had issues with electricity in Nigeria.
That has not changed.
NEPA has always been an
that
issue.
has not changed.
I know they changed their name for some
Up
time.
NEPA.
Yeah.
Up
That has always
Up
been
NEPA,
an issue.
fam. No, man, that's not changed.
And then there is also the roads have always been. I don't know how.
Actually,
good
some
they are
part.
right
I don't
now.
know. Some part when I went back in the east, some part was alright. Yeah, some part was alright. It's changed.
Okay.
Yeah, the roads were some parts from what I remember. Some parts, but there's still potholes.
Yeah.
From growing up,
These are like
certain,
well, you can literally call them well because
potholes. There's still potholes.
yeah.
And like in the very busy commercial area, that businesses are flowing, people live around us. So there's potholes.
So we can touch the roads. We can touch on electricity. We can touch on government as well. Like the government has all since the time I remembered it. You know, when you recite the national anthem, you know, where the leaders up tomorrow.
Do you remember it?
I can find 100%. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength. But now it's like
So
the
help
saying
me
is
God.
not by force.
So help me God.
To defend the unity and uphold and honor. So help me God, whichever way in it, I still remember. But the point is, we've always had leaders, you know, in the past, and we've always, you know, they've always said to us, you know, we're the future leaders. Right from when we were growing up, now we've grown up.
Stay the same thing.
These are still the same people.
They're still in power,
that
you
are
know.
in power. Do you know what I
Recycling,
mean?
they're
So
all recycling it. Recycling.
these are things that have been problems.
Yeah.
You know, as it was in the beginning, so it is, and forever shall it be. So it's like these
That's
are.
quoting Bible verses.
So these are the problems that. Well, I wouldn't say all of them are problems, but if you're part of an enterprise, but there's no development in a way, then you're actually the problem.
Big
Do you know
time.
what I mean?
Big
So
time.
we're going to touch, like I said, we'll touch on the problems, and we'll talk on things that, you know, we'll think can change. One of the other things that I think, before I even say what I think is the problem, what other things do you think has been the problem, like from the time you could remember?
From growing up, like you said, the people in power, bad governance.
Yeah.
That's the main issue. Bad governance.
Corruption.
Corruption. God.
You know, there was even a time
Hey.
that they said that I think it was during the previous government, what's it called Jonathan,
Yeah.
and they said, you know, it was about corruption and all of that, and it was after he left, and a lot of people were saying bring back corruption. So it's more like saying
They're used to corruption, basically.
yeah, it's like corruption was even better than the
what we have
present,
now.
than what we have now. So he's even thinking about that is like none is even better in a way, because it's like now you're weighing, you know, the bad
odds,
and worse
yeah.
together, and it's not.
Which one
It's
do you
all
prefer?
bad. Do you know what I'm
Which one do you
saying?
prefer?
So it's always been there. Like even when we're growing up, we never used to. I wouldn't say we don't know, but it weren't too conscious of it.
About because you're a kid.
Yeah,
you're
so
a kid.
it's like
You're just growing up.
it was our parents that
were
were
conscious
going
of
through that.
100%.
But now that we're growing up and we start to see things ourselves, and we now start to see like this ain't right.
100%. 100%.
Now let's not talk about us. Like obviously we've had to move out of the country. We've gone to a different, a Western world that has all these things that are going on properly. And then we're not trying to say something is wrong somewhere.
Big time.
So who do you think is at fault for all of these things?
The leaders, man. And also, do you know what it is? Apart from the leaders, number one, the leaders.
Yeah.
The leaders, because they're just greedy, selfish.
Yeah, 100%.
Once someone, I can't remember, I think it was you that told me this. Give someone power and you see the true self.
Yeah, of course. Give them money. You might not know their true self, but give them power. Once you give someone power,
that's why
they
don't want to leave once they have got hold of that power. They hold on to it. The leaders. I don't think Nigeria's ever had a good leader.
To be honest, I actually don't think.
I don't think so.
But you know there was actually a time in Nigeria where a pound was actually equivalent to a naira.
One
naira was actually a pound.
That's a time ago.
That was like time ago after the independence, and even because we're still going to go to that SARS movement and whatever. Like there was that time where a pound was actually a naira, and then even all our I wouldn't say that our fathers now because they actually had their part in all of this. I wouldn't say enjoyment because
that's another thing.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Apart from the leaders, I feel like the people played a big role in the way Nigeria.
How?
Like you see what's happening right now in what happened last year, the Ensign's movement with people, the uprising.
Yeah.
Back in the days, everyone was quiet. Nobody took to the streets.
No. This is what.
Nobody took to the streets.
No,
everyone accepted it.
No, it wasn't like they accepted it because even the same way you were thinking, I was thinking that too. Because social media now has actually made people to all sit back. We can actually see what's going on. It's connected literally everyone together.
100%.
It's a point where there was no social media these days. Because I thought about it as well. I was like, why did our parents leave this to us to now deal with?
To fight, yeah.
Because they were the one that I wouldn't say our parents messed up, but in a way they did because they allowed it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. They allowed
but
it.
At the time, it was controlled. Do you know why I said it was controlled? Is because there was no social media like this where you can actually post things on, like you can post things on social media. People can see. Say for example, the SARS movement, like that literally everyone in the world was able to see what was going on. And if it was in America, if it was in England, everyone was able to connect very quickly. But back in the day, there wasn't anything like that. Even the people that decided to stand up, they were being silenced. So that's why we couldn't even. There was an interview I watched of Fela, and it was. When did this guy die? He's died for so many years ago.
The stuff he's talking about.
Things he was talking about.
It's still happening now. Still happening now.
So that's when we now start to think that we need to think about it. Are we actually going to get out of this?
100%.
How?
100%. I feel like the people like me and you, the youth now, will know what we want. We're not willing to settle for less than that. We know what we want. And I feel like eventually there'll be a point where all this, obviously, the way I see it, at the end of the day, everyone's gonna go. They're gonna die one day.
Yeah, of course we're gonna.
So all these people holding on to power, clinging on to power, it's just for the meantime.
Yeah.
Eventually,
but
something.
Even sorry to cut you short, even the fact that they've held on to it for forever, for as long as they want to hold on to it, people are affected. Lives have been cut
big
short.
Time.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so sad though. It's so sad.
Think about electricity. Think about just common healthcare.
People are dying.
You can't even have access to all these little things.
I was watching something online the other day, but where some guy, he fell. Some DJ actually, Nigerian DJ is popular in Abuja. He fell. He was cleaning his house, doing normal chores, and he fell. He hit his head. They went to 3 different hospitals. The guy was still alive.
Yeah, but they couldn't.
Nobody was accepting him. They went to 3 different hospitals.
No one was able to
The guy was still alive, at that time. He was traveling to one hospital to another for someone to take him in. And he died. Eventually died.
Do you know when we even start to think about this, it's actually deeper. Do you know why I think it's more deeper? Because for us, we're not even in Nigeria right now, so we can't physically experience what's going on. Yeah, because there's a point where we can empathize, because I wouldn't say sympathize. Because we're not actually physically there. What about people that this is what they dream, they wake up to? You know, you don't even know where their next meal is coming from. And then we have a government where, I think it was, you know, on the other day I was reading the allowances they get, like if you're in the House of Senate.
Don't forget
get a house allowance, get cars, you get
don't
maid,
forget the
you get
governors,
driver.
the past governors, they're still on the allowance as well.
You know, when you think about all these things, you're not thinking when does an end come to all of these things?
And then when they do the budget, when they do the budget, the National Assembly budget for housekeeping, they go into billions.
Do you know,
billions.
And that's the thing. I think the first solution to all of this is accountability. If all the leaders are being held accountable, do you know that? Here's what I'll tell you one thing here.
People have allowed this to go on for so many. That's what I'm trying to say. The people. The people. You can't do that to the UK. They'll tell you to step down, fam.
Of course. Even no one will tell you before you actually.
You have to resign. You resign.
Yeah, but here's one thing. I think now that our generation is starting to like wake up, because I'll say we're waking up, and this 100%. Is what I said to someone. I said, you see that NSARS thing? That's actually the first step to change.
Okay.
You see that the 2020, I don't know, the next presidential election, 2023, it would be a different election from everything that's ever happened in the past.
In what sense?
Do you know why I said that? Because
in what sense?
Now you think, you know, after the whole thing where, you know, everyone was waiting for the president to come out and address the nation and didn't say nothing for days, and, you know, people
my guy
said,
it happened, so what?
You know, my guy was, you know, he came out and said, and you know, people actually went quiet. Yes. You know, people that were killed at the toll gate and all that things. All this investigation, no one's actually even said anything about it.
No accountability.
And you see, like, the youth are actually quiet right now. Why do you think they're quiet? Because the change that they need, even though they're fighting for it, or we are fighting, because I'm part of the youth. Yeah. Like the change that we're all waiting for will be the next presidential election. We don't need all these old men to not come and, you know, because we're not kids anymore.
Do you know what it is? If you think about it, from my recollection, the way especially the Nigerian system is set up.
Yeah.
You know, for you to run for election and stuff, you have to buy tickets.
You have to buy a ticket. You have to
this
be
is millions
as well. Yeah.
Okay. What young boy has 40 to 50 million
to pour in
for ticket?
So that means we can't even change anything
from the get-go. We're not even in the race. We're not in the race already. From the offset, we're not in the race. Plus, you need sponsors, people to be backing you. And also, this what they call the godfathers.
Yeah.
Once they've backed, you spend so much money.
Yeah.
Once you get into that,
then you have to start. You bring that back. So it's like a recycled thing.
You know what I mean? So that's the way it is, fam. That's why all of them are recycled. All these past people, they're coming back because
they have
for example, they've got the money. They've got the money. They've got the money. They're the godfathers.
So how can them? Because obviously, what I'm actually thinking in my head is like the change that we need in Nigeria. And let's even divert a little bit to like outside of Nigeria, because you know there's always that like Nigeria. I think we have the highest population in Africa, maybe West Africa. But we have other nations like Uganda, like Zimbabwe. Look 100%. At, you know, the past president of, I think it was of Uganda. It was the prime minister between the year 1980 to 1987.
Mugabe.
Yeah, and then it was the president between 1987 to 2017. And that's, to me, I feel like that's oppression. You've oppressed a country to the point where even if they want to stand up and talk, they have nothing in them to let out.
Do you know what it is? For one thing you also need to understand, there's always two sides. There's people that will say, the guy was bad. Yeah. There's people that will say the guy was good.
Yeah. No matter how good you were, like that's not even your father's. You know what I mean? Like for you to
you say to be in power for that long.
Yeah, for that long. Even regardless of what you've done, why can't you give someone else a chance to?
But when they get, remember I said, when you get power from, you don't want to leave it. That's when they start. That's when they start changing the law, making implementation. They start changing. From 4-year term to
8 years.
To 8-year term. Yeah. Once they do the 8 years, they don't want to leave. Then they start changing again to another 8 years term. That's what they do.
And I remember we did have this conversation, when we talked about the tribal things in Nigeria, like the Igbos, and everything. And I said that our generation was seeing past the tribes.
Okay.
We're seeing past your Igbo, Yoruba, your Hausa, all
yeah.
that. We're now seeing a collective Nigerian. We're now seeing a collective Nigerian that wants change. And that's why when that NSARS thing started in Lagos,
Everybody.
it was in Enugu, it was in, I think it was in Imo as well.
Yeah, it was in Imo.
Some part of like the northern part as well. And that's why you see like the media even now, like media is more important than it used to be, because now we can easily access all these things. We can easily have information, at the back of our hands as well. So I think the first thing that I think, in my opinion, that should change or that can change is if we start to bring all our leaders to accountability, to be accountable for. If you've been put in a position, but that's the thing. It starts from somewhere, though. If you're as a local government chairman, because think about it this way. A lot of us, and that's the thing. Even information that we have at our disposals, a lot of us might, even though we might have that information, but we don't see as serious.
Okay, when you talk about bringing these leaders into accountability,
who is bringing them to?
Who
is going to be?
He's going to. Who is going to stand up to Obasanjo?
But that's the you see. Here is another thing. Like for example, the EFCC or whatever.
The guy is even corrupt. Was it not the guy that said he's corrupt?
But here's the thing. That has to be.
Somebody is meant to be fighting crime.
But that's the thing. But that has to be. I think the government, and that's why the youth we have a lot to do. To be honest. Even though we might not see in our generation, but it will be for our next generation. But we'll know we've started something. It's a point like, you see, when it comes to accountability, say for example, at work, you know you're accountable to this person. If you do something wrong, you have to answer.
There's questions to be answered.
There are questions to be answered.
100%.
So if we don't find it as a big deal for all people in places of power to be accountable for everything that they do, before you get into power, there is like 12 million naira in the government account. So tell us how you spent all of that. So see the guy that was brought before the what's the guy? I can't remember. The guy that fainted. There was no accountability, bro. Even the guy that was like the panel were even saying off your mic, fam.
My guy fainted. He said, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir."
I said off your mic, fam. That means even the person that wants to hold you accountable for your actions.
He did that twice, not the first time.
The person that wants to hold you accountable is even like guilty of things himself. Yeah. So we need to. I think there has to be an independent organization or independent body that will hold anyone accountable.
Even the EFCC is independent.
No, it's not. I think it was set up by Obasanjo.
But it's independent.
But that's not independent.
It's meant to go. After people.
It should have been set up by a very neutral person rather than him setting it up.
But the whole emphasis of EFCC is to go after criminals.
But
regardless
the foundation of that has to be checked as well. If you've set up something, but look at you yourself, you're not even clean.
That's what I'm trying to say.
How can you go about
when you're saying who's going to bring these people to law? The people that are meant to bring them to law, they're also corrupt.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. So I'm saying now, the change that we need needs to start from independent. Do you know we have like, let's say people that are not even in positions of power in Nigeria. They've done legit businesses. They've made their money.
Yeah, of course.
But they've just been silent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're silent, but maybe they might not be as vocal as other people are.
100%,
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
These are people that we need to like reach out to. Get all these bodies together, have an independent. But that's the thing, is like the youth against the government.
And it's also who you know. Who you know. You want to be part of the panel. Who do you know? Africa's
That's the thing. That's the thing.
You want to be the chairman. What have you done? Do something.
You then think the first thing is education.
Of course. The masses need to be educated. The masses need to.
Say, for example.
So, for example, I'm gonna take one part of Nigeria, for example. Let's say the North. The North has the lowest illiteracy rate. The young children, most of them are. Correct me if I'm wrong. They don't even go to school, man.
Yeah.
Most of them, they're not in school.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Less developed. But majority of the politicians in Nigeria, the people at the top,
from
are from the north.
Yeah. Even the equal distribution of power as well. These
North,
are things
they're Northerners. They're Northerners.
I think I was reading the other day,
They're Northerners.
I think the chief security officer or whatever, all
Northerners.
these top
They're
people,
Northerners.
from the north,
So tell me, how you're on high position, but the people that you're meant to be serving, low literacy rate, unemployment very low, fam.
Yeah, very low, yeah.
How? What's the change? Obviously, they're used to it. They're gonna be used to it. It's the way the system is set up. They know what they're doing.
So the first thing
they know what they're doing. Yeah, you need to educate the people. Once people, fam, education is power. Remember,
it is power.
Education
of course.
power.
What you know.
Education is power.
Yeah,
wisdom.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. There's a reason why the North is like that. Me personally, how can you have people in top position in the country, bro? And your side, and your side.
Because I do have a few. I remember back at uni, I had like 2 or 3 guys in my
from the north.
Course, from the north.
Yeah.
And then one of them said, because I didn't, to be honest, I might even know a bit more about Igbo people, but the northern side, I have no clue at all. Not because I don't, but because we don't get to
you don't get to
meet them, mingle with them. So, but the little conversation we had was like, people are actually educated in the north, but it's actually a very low, like the percentage is very low. The ones that want to get you educated, they will make sure you have the education.
Exactly.
But the main thing is that everyone needs to be educated, and it doesn't have to be about going to school. It's about just knowing the basic rules and understand. Say for example, like
if they knew these things would be happening, enough.
You know what I mean? Like
if they knew,
I don't think it would make any difference.
It would, man.
It wouldn't. Do you know why?
Do
you know why? A lot of people. Do you know people are educated in the West?
Yeah, but
do you know how many people are actually educated in the West?
See the difference between the West and the North.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
See the difference between the West and the North. This whole NSAS, where did this start from? From the West.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because we've seen a lot of people have been outside the country and they've seen things. So
that's what I'm trying to say. Exactly.
But do you think? I think that will actually help.
You go a long way.
Because once you know what you deserve, then you would actually settle for less.
You make your voice heard. You definitely.
Okay, another thing that I want to briefly touch on is the police brutality.
NSAS.
You know, before that, I think for some reason, I think they've actually even stopped. They've ended that NSAS.
Wasn't that
like
SWAT?
years, SWAT, they've ended it like.
I told you. Remember, I said
accountability.
Accountability.
That's very important.
You changed from one name to another.
And it's still with recycled people.
Accountability.
But here is my thing.
Yeah, go on.
Police brutality has always been there. Yeah, always been there. Now we only get to know these things because of the things we see on social media.
100%.
The things being recorded. If you drive a nice car, if you dress nice, they stop you.
Check your phone.
Like if you have beards, I was telling one of my guys over there, if you go nice with this beard,
they shave it off.
Do you know what I mean? Things like that.
Fam, that's you're intruding to my human
human
rights, fam.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like. Well, that's what I'm saying. That I think the first thing is education. Education goes to the point of everyone knowing what their right is. You know, even as that I think I was having this conversation with one of my colleagues at work. I said, times when police will stop you. If you actually know your rights and you tell them this is section, this section.
Some of them don't even want to hear.
Some of them don't even know the constitution. But here is the thing: if you know what you know, obviously in Nigeria it might not work.
It might not work. That's what I'm trying to say.
If the guy is trying to, your constitution don't work. But at least if you know your rights, the things there's the level of education. Like when you know certain things, there's certain things that you can't take. And this is not to say because I've seen people being harassed, people being assaulted, not because they don't know their right, but it's just because of the way the system is.
100%. That's what.
But even at that, you still need to people still need to get to know these things because when we get to know these things, that's when we can now then say we can talk about this, and that's when we can now say we want change. That's when we can now 100%. Say we want reformation. That's when we can now say because a lot of people have actually had enough, to be honest.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? And we're talking about reformation.
You need to, and also it's just is majority of the time the police stop you. What do they want from you?
Money.
Why?
So that's from the top to the bottom.
Exactly.
Do you think?
Why?
Do you think if the government pays the police properly, they wouldn't go about on the street stopping people?
Do you know it will have some sort of a leeway Like it won't be. I don't think it will be as much as it would.
Okay. So if police had insurance,
Stuff like that,
all these things,
pensions, stuff like
even
that.
they look clean as a police officer before they
will
even
go a
stop
long way.
you.
Yeah, you go a long way.
They will respect you, all of that sort of thing.
100%. Because every time they stop you, they want money. Even if it's 15 naira. How much is 15 naira?
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
Just the last, even they stop or kind of, the last common change, the one they change. Even if it's change, common change. The policeman wearing uniform, they want it.
But here is the thing, like, even talking from the angle, yeah, do you think police officers should be allowed to carry guns?
In Nigeria?
Yeah. Maybe I'm just thinking, like, way out of the box.
Do you know what it is? I feel like the way the country is set up, it kind of,
Yeah, because of the crime rates and everything.
The population.
Okay, yeah, I get that. But even at that, let's say they carry the guns, you're not meant to use it. You don't even have to use it.
Yeah.
You don't have to use a gun.
Unless it's warranted.
Yeah, in a situation where...
It's warranted. In a situation
like what? Let's say armed robbery.
Yeah, life or death.
Yeah, life or
Someone
death.
is in danger.
Yeah,
then yes.
Life or death. Yeah, you should use it. But in the situations when even the way they carry the guns and then they lift it up, that's the first thing. Park your car, all of that. Even if you have, do you know what I mean? Because sometimes when we see guns, fam, is like you against me, fam. Do you know what I mean? The person holding the gun, regardless of you being in uniform or not, you don't even know if he's going to use it or not use it. Let's say you don't have money now. They've asked you this and that.
Yeah.
But my point is, even if they're going to carry them guns, it should be accounted for.
100%.
See, for example, I think in the UK every year the police have to account for the number of bullets. That's been discharged. Yeah, every year they have to.
I didn't know that.
Fam, they have to. They have to account for it. The bullets that they discharge every year.
So Nigerians are just wasting.
Fam, before it goes up. That's my point. That even goes to what I'm talking about with accountability.
They just waste the bullets, fam.
If there's no one to account for it, then everyone thinks I'm in position of power and I can do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean?
It's true.
What other thing is there? What other things do you think?
Yeah,
do you think the government in Nigeria has enough responsibilities? And what I mean by that is like each state, do they have enough responsibility? I wouldn't say enough. I don't know how to put this properly now. In terms of like what everyone has, what each state has, do they use it to its maximum potential? Like you see, like on this state has bitumen. The north they have rice, they have tomatoes, and the east they have what do they have in the east again?
Have crude oil, palm oil.
Yeah, crude oil. All of these things.
Yeah.
Do you think each state uses the natural resources to their potential? Because a lot of time, I think every state depend on what they get from the federal government.
That's it. That's about it.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the case.
But remember, we are one country, right?
Yeah.
So it has to go through the federal government to then distribute it. Obviously, some people are being treated unfairly. For example, the people in the south, especially from the Cross River State, where they got oil. And that oil is being siphoned to the north.
The land is being
destroyed at the same time. You know what I mean? And what are the government giving them? Nothing. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Fishes that people used to. I was watching some documentary the other day. Like back in the days, those Cross River State, those were fishing hubs. You know, people used to go to the streams fish. Now, if you look at it now, it's just spillage everywhere, destroyed. People's livelihood gone.
So
that's why you have this what do you call them? All these bandits. What do they call them again? The people from
I can't remember now.
From
I remember what they're called.
The fighting for fair distribution. I don't blame them.
Yeah, because they need that. If you're using that thing,
you need to look after the environment. You need to look after my people. You know what I mean?
But what about all these other states that has these other natural resources that then now depend? Because I think before even the what's it called, before the crude oil was found, we was fully into farming. That was like everyone's into farming because that's like
agriculture was
agriculture
was amazing.
So I think now that everyone's like nowadays that sort of like we found this crude oil, quick money, whatever. I wouldn't say quick money, but that's what everyone is looking into. So if each state can then look after their own natural resources,
it will go a long way.
And then it will go a long way. I mean,
it will go a long way.
The government.
It will kind of solve some problems we have.
Yeah, it will.
100%.
Say for example, with unemployment, it will actually help with unemployment in each state. Rather than a lot of people, now a lot of people like run to Lagos, looking for greener pasture, whereas they could stay in their state and then build up
farming, do some farming,
because the government might not fully. I wouldn't say they're not, but maybe it's just maybe 1% or 2% out of the what's it called,
the budget.
Yeah, not even the budget, like the full. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like when they're meant to put their full resources into all these things to build not houses, but like refineries, things like that, and then create employment for their people. I mean, it's just I don't know, but I still think everyone needs to be accountable.
100%.
Everyone needs to be accountable.
But it will take a while, man. Like there's certain people in certain positions that just needs to go.
Yeah.
Go,
if you're more than 60, why are you bringing to the table? I'm sorry. Why are you bringing to the table?
But what's the population of Nigeria?
It's like 200 million. Over 200 million.
What's the percentage that are under that use?
Yeah.
It's like 75% of us are used.
Yeah.
And somebody's granddad wants to be leading us.
How can you even? I'm sorry, but why are you bringing to the table?
He's the same person I said his wife belongs to the other room. Man said, I don't know what party my wife belongs to, but she belongs to the other room and the kitchen and the living room. What the hell?
I'm sorry,
a president.
There's no way.
A president.
I'm sorry I don't know what you will be bringing to the table at that age, especially where we have so many different tribes that comes together to be a nation. Yeah. How are you going to now address each tribe individually? Do you know what I mean? That's why now I think to an extent. I mean, I'm sorry, but like the Northerners, they think they own Nigeria.
To an extent.
Do you know what I mean?
To an extent.
Yeah, that's why they think they own Nigeria, because look at the way the Fulani headsmen are killing people. There's this recent thing that was going on about like this guy that came from, I think he came from America, and then he was literally slaughtered in his farm, in his own actual farm, So to an extent, like even people said,
even do you know how was so fucked up? Yeah, sorry for my language. See in the West, if things like that was to happen in the West, either the Prime Minister or the President will speak about it. Of course, regardless who it is, and that's why it is.
Yeah, and that's why it goes down to education. If you see mentality matters as well. Mentality.
Even if it's the mayor. How many deaths are in London where the mayor come out and say, this
it's always in the paper, always every day.
Even our governors don't even speak about this shit.
Yeah. Unless it affects them.
That's how fucked up it is. No accountability, man. These people don't care.
Yeah.
They do not care.
I think the other day, like, how long was it? And this is what I was saying to myself. You see, one time, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was in the UK for 6 months. How can a nation, a president of a nation,
for his checkup?
No, he was in hospital like for 6 months. Yeah, good 6. I'm not even sure if he's more than that, but we're calculating it, fam.
6 months.
We're counting it for 6 months. He was in the UK.
That's half a year, bro.
Yeah. How can a nation be? Do you know what I mean? That goes to the type of change or to what we need in Nigeria.
The presidential jet was
it was packed. And then they have to pay every single day
for 6 months.
Because
do you know what I mean? Months that I can feed back home.
Well, any little thing they find out. And even let's talk about I don't want to talk about this, but like obviously because of the time, like, do you know the amount of money that they still recoup every single year that Abacha took to foreign bank accounts?
So for those that don't know about Abacha, he was the first guy that was in charge when petrol was discovered, didn't it?
Was it? Or
he was the first. He was in power when petrol was regime. He was in power when petrol was discovered in Nigeria. The guy.
Do you know how much they stole?
Switzerland from
the Swiss account.
Swiss account from.
That is.
When did he die?
I don't know.
20 years ago.
I don't know. But
and
what's till date? Do you know what I mean?
They still recovering the money. Billions.
Anyways, we're going to wrap you up
God
here.
help us. Go say this.
God help us in Jesus' name. I think we need prayer. We need change. Even prayer without work is dead. We need to actually put in work. Like, and I feel like the youth are starting to, put in work now. Even though it might seem little, but we're actually starting.
The NSARS movement is,
even if it's not just for us, but for our next generation. Because then, and the thing is, a lot of other African countries look up to Nigeria.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So if Nigeria takes that bold step of saying we need a change and we want it now, other countries will start to see that every other country will start to follow. And there's sorry to just wrap it up on here. There's something one of my friends posted on his status on WhatsApp. It goes, on all the maps of Africa, why is it that the Western always need us? We don't always need them. They always need us for something. Do you get it?
Slightly.
Fam, they always needed us. All the natural resources we had.
Yeah.
This. In each countries, like all the countries in Africa, we didn't decide to come to England from the start.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? So that means there is a lot of potential in us. There's a lot of things that we can work on. There's a lot of things that, can actually bring out who we are as being African, who we are as being Nigerians, as a nation. We also need to realize at the same time the people that are here from Africa, we need to realize it's about time we went back home and. Yeah, of course, 100%. And do you know the funniest thing is when you see most Africans talk, they always talk about their countries. That's because their heart is still there. Like even the times we've talked, that we've literally, there's no time we talk and we don't make mention of Nigeria or this.
100%.
That's because, we always have that at the back of our heart, like this is still important to us.
To improve our country is still important. 100%.
Anyways, we're going to wrap you up here. Let us know what you think about Africa. Let us know what you think about Nigeria. What sort of change do you think we need? Or how can we even go about this? Because to be honest, we are the future generation. We're not even the future generation. The future generation are the little ones that, that
we're still the future. We're still
what future? At what age, fam? But at what age is it? At what age are we the future? Do you know I've been reciting this since I was 2, 3?
We're still the future. The ones coming are still.
We are the future of tomorrow. Tomorrow is it, fam? Do you know what I mean? We need to start looking at the younger ones that are even the unborn kids. So let us know. But that's actually the truth, though. Like that's why.
So we don't have a future no more.
We have.
Our future's gone. Not me, fam.
Our future is there. It's
Our
there.
future's bright, fam.
But you know what I mean? Like we should enjoy it right from when we're like.
Wow,
do you know what I mean?
We should start making steps right here.
Right now. So let us know what you think about all of this. Do comment on all our social media platforms and do listen and follow us on all our social media platforms. Projecting of your podcast on Instagram, on YouTube, and SoundCloud. And until next time, do have a good one.
Take care. Peace.